We're here. We're back. We're doing the thing. This is our first podcast that we've recorded since I competed. Yeah.
Which is crazy because Reno feels like a month ago already. It's been a long week.
It doesn't even feel like June. Like, I don't even know what month or year it feels like.
I know. I'm like, wait, my birthday's this week, and it just doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, when I was talking about it with Tony the other day, I was like, oh, I'm 31 in a couple weeks. I'm like, what the fuck? When the hell did that happen?
Not even that, but I feel like even outside it's been cool considering it's like usually unsufferably hot by now.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit lucky. But hey, we know that typically your birthday
cuts it off.
Marks the day that shit goes south.
And we stop leaving the house.
And Florida becomes a sauna outside, and we get to experience what we consider our winter.
Yep. Fun fact, when I was in therapy last year, my therapist told me that Florida has like reverse seasonal depression where people are depressed in the summer because they don't leave.
Yeah, 100%.
So funny to think about.
But welcome to Yapped and Yoked. We are back, and we have a fun topic today. We're going to be more on the fitness and bodybuilding side of things, but we're going to be talking about how your free meals may be what's fucking your progress, your physique, and are possibly the culprit for why you're not making the progress you think you should be.
And snacking, and little bites here and there, and all the things.
And they all trickle in for sure, but the one thing that we're going to focus on most is what Summer and I together essentially learned over the past year of things. Now, anyone who knows me has known I joke about having hot girl tummy issues. Well, here's the thing. They were brought on by my own doing. It was consequences of my own actions.
Yeah, when I met Connor, I'd really never seen anything like it in terms of what he puts down food-wise on a free meal, or just the body composition he can maintain while being what would some call an asshole.
Most would call an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. You do, in fact, eat like an asshole when you so choose to.
I do indeed, but that has to go to the wayside, especially now that I'm older and I've learned and I've matured. But to give some context for you folks, between the age of like 20 and 25, my stomach could just about digest any free meal of any quantity. Appetite was always up. Body composition was always in a good spot. And for about 2 or 3 years there, when I was living in Colorado, I was having 2 free meals a week religiously. Sometimes a third if I was at work and my coworkers were ordering lunch, but whatever. Those meals. Sometimes
a fourth if the wind blew, or like that. The fifth.
We'll get into that because there was potentially a lot. But for the focus of conversation, 2 free meals a week, they were on my program. My 2 free meals religiously were 2 double bacon cheeseburgers and a large fry from Five Guys. Cleaned it, no problem. And then my second free meal each week was a large pizza medium pizza from Domino's, a cheesy breadstick, and a Cane's Caniac combo. Mm-hmm. And I'd usually get extra tenders too. So 7 to 8 chicken tenders, French fries, pizza, and cheesy breadsticks. By the way, all of which was always washed down with dessert. Sure.
An abundance of dessert.
Back then, it wasn't that bad. I think more in Florida, I leaned into desserts a little bit more, but there was always dessert. Don't get me wrong, but I think Florida definitely brought out the more terrible desserts in me because there's more options for that here. However, now for your education and where this is going to apply to you, I ate like an asshole those meals. Well, I was a 240-pound bodybuilder. I was enhanced. My stomach could handle it at the time, and my body composition was in a good spot. So all things considered, it wasn't posing any negative in terms of my progress.
Yeah.
However, when you look at it from a general scope of view, I was probably doubling my calories on that given day. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. What you don't notice is that you're probably doing the same.
Yeah.
And that goes for anyone in fitness, anyone in bodybuilding, anyone who's dieting or working towards their physique. Those free meals, they're part of the program. Satiety, some mental reprieve, some sense of normalcy, some good tasty food.
Yeah.
But that tasty food, if you're not responsible or thinking about it, can just take a whole day and double your caloric intake.
Yeah.
And then you trickle that into your weekly average. Well, now you're in a 300 calorie surplus for your entire week.
Yeah. Last year I was coaching a client and we were in a deficit, and her body is ultra responsive. So the deficit was pretty small, and she had a couple weekends out, off program, not that I like really approved, outside of just her free meal where there was like drinking involved. And I was like, let me break this down for you a really digestible way. If I have you in a 150 calorie deficit over the course of 7 days, so what is that? 300, 600, 900, 1050. And over the course of the week, you're in a 1,050 calorie deficit, and you go to the bar and you have 2 of those slushy drinks. We are now in a surplus for the week.
Yep.
And so your 7 days are null and void.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was like really eye-opening for her. I don't think she realized, but you don't feel that 150 calorie deficit much, right? Over the course of 7 days, it's like, it's really not that much food. She's fortunate she's in a position where her body can respond and we can lose a pound a week in that deficit. But then you throw a couple of these sugary, alcoholic, Red Bull based drinks on top of them. They're like sugar and slushy and peach schnapps and this thing and that thing. And the next thing you know, you have 2 of those in a day. Now we're not accounting for the free meal programmed in, the drunk snacking, or any like 5 grams over here, handful of this while I make this meal. Yeah. Now our deficit is like very far gone by the time you check in with me that following week. And
you might have even put yourself out of maintenance. You might now be in a surplus for that entire week.
Yeah.
Now, I think from very recent personal experience, you and I went out to dinner on Friday for our anniversary. Mm-hmm. And as we ordered through the menu for majority of the meals had had calories listed next to the foods and the appetizers and whatnot.
Yeah.
And even just there, reading through that, and I'm 1 week post show, so I'm still in a reverse. I'm still being tight and strict with things, and you're still in a prep here. So like we're being mindful and smart and observant of what we're eating.
Yeah.
Even though it's a free meal, like at first I looked at the menu, I'm like, oh, onion rings sound fucking good. But they were 1,300 calories just for the onion rings.
Yeah.
And mind you, we had an appetizer and we had steak as an entree that comes with a side.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if I order a side of onion rings, well, that just doubles
That's
the
my whole day.
That's literally
my whole day.
And then I'm like, okay, well, let's be responsible. We ordered the mashed potatoes, which was literally half the caloric amount.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we still exhibited self-control around those items too, which in turn had us leaving there feeling satisfied. The foods we ate that were more protein focused and a little bit quote unquote healthier were consumed and enjoyed happily. And then we were able to walk out of there not feeling terrible and also in a position where we know we didn't just absolutely just skyrocket our total daily caloric expenditure or intake.
I'll never forget my first year bodybuilding. I was taking my staff to a dinner, and I was a macro person back then in a bodybuilding prep. And I was like, I'm just going to like macro out what I'm going to do. And my best advice for anyone, whether macro meal plan, replacing the meal with a meal plan, whatever the case may be, is go into that restaurant with a plan. Don't just go there when everyone's ordering the fun thing and decide in that moment you're going to look at the menu, because you're going to obviously want something that's not going to fit into your meal plan. Yeah. So my role for myself in those settings where I'm trying to do like a true replacement is walk into the restaurant with a plan and know like, I'm ordering this, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Because then when everyone's like, well, what are you going to get? You're like, I already know. There's no conversation about it. I'm not tempted. Honestly, most times I don't even open the menu at that point. But I knew the chef at the restaurant we were going to. He was our previous head chef at the resort, which all the employees and me were coming from to go to dinner. And I was like, cool, I'll do Brussels sprouts, whatever. I specifically remember the conversation is around the Brussels sprouts. So when I said like, hey, Mark, I want these and this is what I want, he was like, for sure. So you don't want like the oil, the maple sugar or the brown sugar, the maple glaze. And so even on the menu with how it was written out, you would have thought they were just like, I knew I didn't want the brown sugar, but I didn't realize the butter and all of the other things that were going to come on it because it wasn't fully disclosed. So you really have to go in with like uber specific intentions and understanding of what you're doing, because had I just tracked that as normal Brussels sprouts, you know, it would have been a completely different conversation.
Probably like 20 grams of fat added onto that meal
easily.
itself.
And so my best advice I have a client on a cruise right now. Unfortunately, on cruises, I know people that have bodybuild prep on a cruise, even close to a show, because there's so much variety, so much buffet, so many whole foods, things of that nature. But my best advice is you should be able to look at the plate and identify what's on it. So not covered in sauces, not tons of extra ingredients. I should be able to look down and say, that's a chicken, that's a veg, that's a potato. Yeah. And that's going to simplify your food when you're in these settings and you're not trying to throw it all away at a free meal. But when you're in these settings, like, you really have to take that 5% of extra time and care and ask the server, what comes on this? How is it prepared? Asking for no butter, no oil. Instead of a full salad dressing, can I just do vinegar so that it's not condensed with all these additional fats and things? And obviously that's a different conversation. It's not just free meal specific, but you look at these menus and you're like, oh, cool, like a steak. And then you look at the calories and you're like, okay, why is that steak 1,800 calories? Yeah. It's not just because it's a fatty cut of meat, I promise you.
It's a ribeye that was also basted in butter, that was also seared in oil, that was also had a sauce put on the top of it. Like, it just all adds up, and that doesn't register to many. And honestly, I'll be frank, it didn't register to, well, I'd say it registered, but it didn't become something on the forefront of our minds until a year ago.
Yeah.
Because something that over the past several years Summer has done has fluctuate with her fitness goals. So we were in bodybuilding, we weren't in bodybuilding, we did some functional training, we were dieting, a little bit more intuitive eating, etc. And during certain time frames of that, like for our wedding or for our elopement, when you were dieting for that a little bit, when we look back and we reflect, the one thing you didn't give up during that dieting phase was a shaken espresso oat milk latte. And for the whole 8 weeks that I dieted you for our elopement, I was like, dude, just put the latte down because you'll make better progress. Put the latte down, you'll make better progress.
Couldn't have convinced me though.
And yeah, it was for our elopement. It wasn't like for a contest prep, so it didn't have to be that harsh. But that's a 300 to 400 calorie drink added on to the day. Yeah. So it's a conversation of, okay, well, do you want to consume enough food during your day to feel good, to feel satiated and to see results? Or do you want to consume 350 calories less of food to make room for your oat milk latte? You just have to recognize that, though. Yeah. If you don't, then you're now out of your deficit and potentially at maintenance or in a surplus just from one Starbucks drink.
And I would say that people and the drinking of the calories is a huge piece that's missed. Even when you're ordering an almond milk latte, even when you're ordering whatever, even these sugar-free sauces and syrups, we know they're not always calorie-free.
Dutch Bros, not calorie-free,
I'll
sugar-free.
Say it time and time again. But yeah, I mean, people are like, man, I don't know why my diet's not working. And you zoom in, it's like, well, you started your day with a 600 calorie drink from Starbucks.
Yep.
Then let's not talk about all of the other things. But, people here, I swear I see it all the time on social media, of course, healthy version and healthy this. That healthy pancake I saw last night on TikTok literally had chocolate chunks in it, real butter in it, almond flour in it. It's is almond flour potentially a better substitute? I actually don't even know the answer to that, but I'm going to be honest. I look at these recipes, I'm like, to hell with that. I'm just going to eat the real fucking thing at that point.
Because at the end of it, it's okay, well, sure, the almond flour might digest a little bit better than regular flour for some people, but you still made a 400 calorie square of brownie.
Yeah, it's not even you're getting a sheet of brownies at that point. You're still getting something.
You're getting a single serve brownie that may have better ingredients in it,
and
but
it's
those
80%
ingredients
less enjoyable than the real thing.
those ingredients still add up to a 400 to 500 calorie snack.
Yeah.
That snack now takes you out of your deficit.
For
Even
sure.
though you saw on TikTok it's healthy,
Yeah.
that word doesn't mean anything unless it actually applies to what you're doing and why.
I think the hole in a lot of it is we're looking at ingredients and then calling it healthy.
Yep.
Whereas, like, sure, is coconut oil potentially a better option than a standard olive oil or definitely a vegetable or canola oil? Yeah. Does that mean that it's healthy for you? No. Does it mean it's calorically going to keep you in a deficit and keep your body moving forward? Absolutely not. And that tends to be the same when people are like, well, it was an almond milk latte. And I'm like, cool. So you saved 40 to 60 calories.
Yep.
And honestly, you'd probably have been better off drinking the protein out of the real milk.
Seriously. And I mean, the one thing you can also look back at and recognize too is, or everyone should recognize, you can get fat off of vegetables. You can get fat off of lean protein. Granted, you would have to eat so fucking much in a single day. You'd probably never be able to afford it or even consume that amount of food, but it's still possible.
Baby, I love a carnivore diet. Don't tempt me.
So even if you call something healthy, and we're going to sit back and say, yeah, an organic, good cooked chicken breast is factually healthy.
Yeah.
But you can still get fat off of it. If you eat 12 chicken breasts in a day for 6 months, yeah. And you probably get fat.
Another really good example of this, I saw this on social media about 6 months ago, but Pura Vida, really popular restaurant. I would classify it on the more healthy side of things for sure. Salads, wraps, sandwiches, maybe soups, smoothies, etc. Their one, was it salmon wrap?
I thought it was a chicken wrap.
I forget. Regardless, you go in, you're looking at, cool, tortilla, veg, protein. That's not that far off from what I eat in a day. I want to say the wrap was like 1,800 calories. Yeah. And I think of that 18, it was like 40 to 60 grams of fat. Like, it was something obscene. Granted, salmon does have fat, but then when you think about that as a whole, sauces, like how many fats are in that tortilla alone? You mean to tell me there's 60 grams of fat? There's fat in every thing they put in that wrap.
Yeah, probably oil on top of the vegetables, cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for some people, they'll walk into Pura Vida at 9 a.m. and order that item. That's their entire day's worth of food.
That they ate before 9 a.m.
They don't even register it. And then, cool, they'll go have lunch.
And then in theory, they're like, well, it was a healthy
day.
choice. And it's like potentially more than KFC. I don't know.
Yeah. It comes back to the conversation that I feel like every fitness professional has with their mom.
Yeah.
You get with your mom, hey, honey, I want to lose a few pounds. I want to feel better. Okay, what are you doing? Well, I'm eating healthy foods. Okay, what's that look like? Well, I have an apple. Well, then I have some chicken and some veggie for lunch, and then then your father cooks something clean. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, identifiably, those are healthy options. But what you just listed off is like half of what you should be consuming in a given day. And the same goes for the other side of that coin, where other people can be like, I eat healthy foods. I eat identifiably healthy foods.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you ate 6 meals in a day. Each meal was 400 calories. And now you've consumed 2,400 calories on the day, and your maintenance is 2K.
Yeah. I just remembered that I put this on Threads recently. Well, it was like a while ago now, but it blew up. But I typed 4 servings of creamer when you eyeballed it, roughly 140 extra calories. 1/4 of your kid's sandwich that they didn't finish, 175 calories. I'm going to come back to that. That one really pissed the internet off. Handful of nuts for the road, 300 calories. And a little sweet treat before bed, 200 calories. This is why you're failing at your diet. What gets measured gets managed.
Yeah.
Your deficit by being like, well, I don't like wasting food, so I'm just going to finish my kid's lunch.
Yeah.
People didn't like that I thought that 175 calories for a quart of a sandwich was what I put. But if we're being so honest, the way you slather on peanut butter and jelly for a child, full sugar, full everything, and let's not talk about even the fact that Wonder Bread and the fact that the jelly you are using is not like preservative, like healthy jam, and the peanut butter you just used
that Schmuckers and that Skippy.
Full sugars in it. Yeah, that's probably honestly not that far off.
I I would think that's pretty accurate. Shit. I mean, when I used to make PB&Js when I was a kid, there was a fucking 1/4 inch thick of peanut butter on that bitch.
Easily. And I would do that again if I could.
Like now that I know, like as a bodybuilder, like, oh, 15 grams of nut butter, 30 grams of nut butter, I know what that looks like. And I can picture that perfectly. Well, yeah, sure. But then when you think about it, I'm like, oh, damn, the shovel's worth of peanut butter I used to put on my sandwiches when I was a kid.
Well, let's just even bring it back to that. A serving of 28 to 32, depending on what peanut butter you're choosing, is like 180 calories.
15 grams of fat.
15 grams of fat. So my 600 calories is really pretty
fair,
I would say.
Yeah.
You know, if we're talking a ham and cheese, maybe we're not talking quite the same math.
Depends on how much mayo and sauce you put on there.
Depends how much you put on it.
But instead of talking about how many different ways you can make a sandwich, something you mentioned before that I think is also very important is when you're going out to dinner with other people.
Yeah.
Or you're going out to dinner with a significant other.
Yeah.
This is something you and I learned this past prep.
Yeah.
Summer and Connor like the same foods. Summer and Connor like to share a lot of foods. Summer
shouldn't be eating Connor portions.
Summer shouldn't be eating Connor portions. That's something we learned this past prep because I was very lucky. I had quite a few free meals, quite a few refeeds. So there were days where I did get food, quite a lot of it. And within that, she would typically be right there with me on those.
Well, not in prep.
Not in prep, but like during the course of my prep, this is where we learned this.
Right.
Because during one of my refeeds, I grabbed a slice of carrot cake because that was pretty much standard for what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then one day I was just curious. I looked at it. That singular slice of carrot cake was 1,000 calories.
It's the best carrot cake on the planet.
And what would happen is I would go out and have a free meal. She would have a free meal with me typically or something to some variety. And we would both get a slice of carrot cake.
Yeah.
Well, for me, yeah, that's a big impact. But that's on that given day, 1/8 of my caloric intake, which was an 8,000 calorie day on those refeeds.
True.
Which numerically really isn't that crazy.
I was like, when the fuck were you eating that much food? But on a refeed, sure.
Yeah, but for example, say Summer didn't even get a free meal, but she just had a slice of carrot cake with me that night.
That's 2 days for me, babe.
That's very literally 2 days worth of food for you
in
a single day. And that second day's worth of food you're consuming in a 20-minute window.
Yeah.
And
6, because I vacuum that thing.
Yeah. But I think that's a very important piece that people don't recognize is even say you're even out with one of your girlfriends and she has a slightly bigger appetite than you. She gets 3 scoops of ice cream and you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'll get 3 scoops of ice cream instead of your typical one that you might responsibly purchase. Well, shit, now you just had an extra 800 calories of food just because you're hanging out with your girl and you didn't even think about it.
Yeah. I think the thing I always try to remember when I'm dieting or just in general is food is so fleeting and you really like, it's not like you buy a home and you get to enjoy the home for the next 30 years. Or you buy this car and every time you drive in it, you just like feel a certain way. It's like you really only enjoy that food for the time that it's in your mouth. Like, and maybe if you're lucky, 5 minutes after.
Yeah.
And when you're like losing your shit and like uncontrollably like jonesing, and I feel like some people just truly feel like, no, if I want it, I need to have it.
Yeah.
That satisfaction, that dopamine hit is gone and you're on to the next thing in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And like, this is something I want to talk about more on my own personal brand, but that's almost the same thing with shopping. Like, I notice with these companies that do these drops, the hype around it makes you want it. Even if you like, I'll use myself, for example, Honor Active drop something. I'm like, I'm good. I actually don't really want anything from this drop. I open social media and there's so much like hype around one specific product that I find myself being like, wait, I do want it. Even though when I saw it initially and my immediate reaction was like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah.
And we just allow like the world around us, the social media that we're taking in, everything to really impact our decisions and decide for us like, no, you actually have to have that. And then in 2 weeks, you don't want it anymore.
Yep.
It's sitting in your closet and it's still in the bag or whatever the case may be. It's so similar for food. It's like if you had just waited an hour and eaten a well-balanced meal and satiated yourself in that regard, like, sure, you might still want it, but like, did you actually need it?
Yeah. I mean, look, right now on post-show, my cravings are high. Like there's a little bit of food focus there. Like I want a sweet treat. I want a fucking sweet treat. Like it's in the back of my brain. Sure. I will say, like, after most meals I consume right now, even though I'm consuming a decent amount of food, that last bite of food I take, I put the spoon down and my first thought process is, fuck, I want more.
Yeah.
But I know, and this happened last night. This was like really super powerful last night for me. I got done with my meal and I'm sitting there. I'm like, fuck, I want something more. Maybe I can make like a protein smoothie or like a protein yogurt bowl or something just to give myself a little bit of reprieve because I want more food. I'm hungry. I sat and took a breath and I thought to myself, if I just get up, get the dishes clean, get the kitchen clean, and lay the fuck down in bed, it'll pass. Mm-hmm. And it does.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
The majority of what people end up leaning into in those cases where they make that poor decision,
they stay in the kitchen.
They stay in the kitchen, yeah. But they let their hormones and emotions control their actions more than their discipline and desires.
For sure.
And for me, I desire to hit my reverse perfectly. I want to hit this and stay on plan and be disciplined because that is what I'm focused on.
Yeah.
So I make sure to have a conversation with myself in my head. I don't need it. Just get up, get moving, go lay down. The craving will pass.
Yeah.
Understanding that it's my emotions and my hormones, leptin and ghrelin and all those things that actually act in your brain and on your body, that's just causing me to feel like I want more food.
Yeah.
Fuck the feelings. Understand it. Get up, get moving, and just go on to the next thing.
Do something else.
Brush your teeth is a great way to detract or deter cravings, especially in a contest prep.
When I'm like starving, I put whitening strips on my mouth because I'm like, I'm locked in for 30 minutes now.
Yeah, you can't eat with those things stuck in your teeth.
Can't even drink anything.
But I think broad stroke here, scope of everything, biggest message you can take away from this is be mindful of those free meals.
Yeah.
Don't try and hang with your friends.
Yeah.
And care about your goal orientation.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, for anyone who is on a diet of some sort, following a meal plan, goal oriented for their physique, you should care.
Yeah.
You should care. You should be invested in yourself. You should be invested in what you're doing, what you're putting your money into, what you're putting your body through. So if you care, like you should, it's a simple task. Just be responsible and mindful when you go out for those free meals and just don't overdo it.
Yeah, my favorite win that I get as a coach, and I feel like I get it almost with every client, you could probably relate, is when you get them to that spot where they identify that their meal plan is safe and that they like the predictability of how they feel on it.
Yeah.
And that they don't necessarily want the food because they want to wake up with a flat stomach or feeling good or, you know, whatever their why is. Not everyone, it's not always about the look. It's about the mental clarity or the lack of fatigue or the heaviness of the gut or the digestion or whatever it is. And I truly believe that when you get to a spot where you've given yourself enough days strung together of trusting the meal plan, as long as there's variety in there, you're satiated, you feel good, and you know how you're gonna look the next day. That's like the biggest win of all.
100%. And I think that goes to make the most important point. It's not entirely about how you look. It's about how you feel. And for anyone and anything, including myself, I'm not going to be a bodybuilder for the rest of my life. I'm not going to be bodybuilding at 80 years old on stage, wrinkly as shit.
Thank God.
But what I will be doing is continuing to live the lifestyle because it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to lean into is feeling good. And all of you should opt for the same, aim for the same. And I think
that's the perfect ending.
I agree on that as well. Now let's go figure out what that beeping
Hands in, break.
sound is.
We don't actually have to break.
3, 2, 1. Cheers.
Bye.
Like, subscribe, comment. We got more coming for you.
Promise.